Sure is cold out there. You know, when we first came here, I thought to myself, I ain't never gonna need to be cold again. Guess I was wrong about that. Yeah, sure, the summers are mighty burning hot, but the winters, they are something like I ain't never experienced before. Still, though, I guess you need the cold, and you need the warm. You need that sort of mixed together. So you got yourself some seasons, so that things will grow. How you feeling? Feeling any better? You're looking a mite better, but not... Yeah, you are looking a mite better. How's your temperature? Still a little warm. It is cold in here, though. I'm gonna put the fire on. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a little bit of warmth. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me have a look here. Let me have a look. Running a little low on firewood. I'm gonna have to get the boy to chop a little more, but I think we got enough here for a few days. Let me have a look. That'll do it. That'll do it. That's nice. That's so much warmer. Well, I had young Billy look after the place for a while so I could head into town. And I got you a few things while I was in there. Want to see 'em? Well, I'll go get them. Well, when I went into town, there was a fellow there, and he was selling medicines of all types. So I got some. He said this would help with the fever. So I got some pain cure, he called it. Said that was perfect for getting rid of your aches and your pains. Come all the way from Chicago, that one did. Also got some castor oil. No, it wasn't nothing. It didn't Didn't really cost much at all. Cold pressed, it says. I think we try this one first. What do you think? Pain. Okie dokie. Gonna put a few drops on there. Okay. Try to keep that steady. Here we go. Good. Now I'll do a couple of drops of this castor oil. I tell you, when I was in town today, I saw young Jamie coming out of the saloon. Hadn't even gone 1 p.m. and he was already drunk. He asked me if I had any money. I told him I had nothing. What with his pa gone and his ma struggling, it's a disgrace really how it's going on. I knew exactly where that money would be going. He said it was for feed, but I know it wasn't for no feed. Here we go. Good. Fella said to do 2 of those. Good. That's good. While I was gone in town, young Billy, he helped, I say helped, he actually just did it on his own. He helped the heifer birth. Her young, all nice and smooth. I tell you, that boy is so useful to this place. I don't know what I'd do without him. You know, he works so hard. It's literally out there, cold as you can get. And he's perspiring there like a porcine. With the amount of work he puts in, he don't need no fire to keep warm. You like to see the other thing I got you? Well, I got you a can of peaches as well, but I leave those in the kitchen. Though maybe we could have them later. But I got, well, I'll get them. I'll show you. Just going to set this down here. Got some nice warm water here, but that ain't the thing. The thing are these things here. Let me put that down. So I got 2 things. First is a tin of these little herbs. Rose petals. Oh, they smell mighty fine. Surely they do. I got these little packages. The fella who was selling the medicine, he had a woman with him, and she made these things. Made out of lavender. Aren't they just the prettiest things you ever saw? They smell better than the rose petals. Here, you smell them. I thought we could put these by your side of your bed. Apparently they have they're relaxing quality. Put that there. Put that one there. So what I thought I could do is I could put some of those rose petals here in the water. And then I can use some of the water to cool you down a little. Put that on. I put a little bit more in, actually. That's not much. Y'all looking a lot better after that medicine. You feel better? Good. It smells nice. Got a pretty pattern to it. You feeling cooler? Good. You're gonna be on your feet in no time. Back up on your feet in no time. Put that there for now. Our check came in through Wells Fargo as well. Yeah, that money came through. I reckon we got enough money now to buy Old Man Johnson's patch of land that we were thinking about. I reckon I might just do it as well. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a little bit more land to play with. Anyway, I got them peaches. Got them herbs and medicine. But I got one more surprise. I go get it. I put the bottles away in case we spill them. When I stopped into the store, I thought I'd get a book. The store keep telling me it's about pirates. Treasure Island. You know, I ain't one much for reading, but I thought since you were laid up and all, I could read to you some. Maybe try to help you get to sleep. What do you think? There's a little map here, like a pirate's treasure map. Treasure Island, Part 1. The Old Buccaneer, Chapter 1. The Old Sea Dog at the Admiral Benbow. Squire Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and the rest of those gentlemen having been asked to write down the whole particulars about Treasure Island from the beginning to the end, kept nothing back but the bearings of the island, and that only because there's still treasure not yet lifted. I take up my pen in the year of grace, 17 blank, and go back to the time when my father kept the Admiral Benbow Inn, and the brown old seaman with the saber cut first took his lodgings under our roof. I remember him as if it were yesterday, as he came plodding down to the inn door, his sea chest following him behind, and a hand barrel. A tall, strong, heavy, nut brown man. His terry pigtails falling over the shoulders of his soiled blue coat, his hands ragged and scarred with black broken nails, and the saber cut across one cheek, a dirty, livid white. I remember him looking round the cove and whistling to himself. As he did so, and then breaking out into that old sea song he sang so much often. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. 15 men on a dead man's chest. This is a handy cove, says he at length, and a pleasant, sitiated grog shop. Much company, mate? My father told him no. Very little company. The more was the pity. Well then, he said, this is the berth for me. Here you, matey, he cried to the man who trundled to the barrow. Bring up alongside and let me help you chest. I'll stay here a bit, he continued. I am a plain man. Rum and bacon and eggs is what I want. And that head up there for to call off and watch ships. What do you more call me? You more call me a captain. He threw down 3 or 4 gold pieces on the threshold. You can tell me when I've worked through that, says he, looking as fierce as a commander. And indeed, bad as his clothes were, and costly as he spoke, he had none of the appearance of a man who sailed before the mast, but seemed like a mate or a skipper, accustomed to being obeyed or to strike. The man who came with the barrow told us the mail had set him down in the morning before at the Royal George. That he'd inquired what inns were there along the coast, and hearsay ours, well spoken of, I suppose, and described as lonely, and had chosen it from the others for his place of residence. And that was all we could learn of our guest. He was a very silent man by custom. All day he hung round the cove or upon the cliffs with a brass telescope. All evening he sat in the corner of the parlor next to the fire and drank rum and water, very strong. Mostly he would not speak when he was spoken to, only look up sudden and fierce and blow through his nose like a foghorn. Every day when he came back from his stroll, he would ask if any seafaring man had gone by along the road. At first we thought it was the want of company of his own kind that made him ask this question. But at last we began to see that he was desirous to avoid him. When a seaman pad up at the Admiral Bamboo, as now and then some did, making the coast road for Bristol, he would look at him through the curtain window before he entered the parlor, and he was always sure to be silent as a mouse when any such was present. For me at least, there was no secret about the matter, for I was in a way a sharer of his alarms. He'd taken me aside one day. How that personage haunted my dreams, I need scarcely tell you. On stormy nights when the wind shook the four corners of the house, and the surf roared along the cove and up the cliffs, I would see him in 1,000 forms, with 1,000 diabolical expressions. Now the leg would be cut off at the knee, not the hip. He was a monstrous grinder, a creature who had never had but one leg, and that in the middle of his body. To see him leap and run and pursue me over a hedge and ditch was the worst of nightmares, and though lie pretty dear to most fourpenny pieces in the shape of these abominable fantasies. But that I was so terrified by the idea of the seafaring man with one leg, I was far less afraid of the captain himself than anybody else who knew. There were nights when he took a deal more rum and water than his head would carry, like old Billy. The wicked old wild seed songs he would sing minded nobody. But sometimes he would call for glasses round and force all the trembling company to listen to his stories, or bear a chorus of his singing. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, all the neighbors joining in for dear life with the fear that death upon them, and each singing louder than the last to avoid remark. For in these fits, he was the most overriding companion ever known. He would slap his hand on the table for silence all round. He would fly up in a passion of anger at a question, or sometimes because none was put. So he judged the company was not following his story, nor would he allow anyone to leave the inn till he had drunk himself sleepy and reeled off to bed. His stories were what frightened people the most. It's a good book. Dreadful stories there were about hanging and walking the plank, and storms at sea, and the tortugas and wild deeds in places of the Spanish Main. By his own account, he must have lived his life among some of the wickedest men that God ever allowed upon the sea. and the language in which he told me these stories shocked our plain country people almost as much as the crimes that he had described. My father was always saying the inn would be ruined. Or people would stop coming. I see you getting tired. I read just a little bit more then. In one way indeed, he bade fair us to ruin, for he kept on staying week after week, and at last month after month, so that all the money had been long exhausted, and still my mother and my father never plucked up the heart to insist on having more. If he mentioned it, the captain blew through his nose so loudly that you might say he roared, and stared at my poor father out of the room. I have seen him wringing his hands after such a rebuff, and I am surely the annoyance of terror he lived must have been greatly hastened by an early and a happy death. All the time he lived with us, he made no change whatsoever to his dress, not to buy stockings from a hawker, or a hat, or anything. His appearance was a coat he'd patched himself upstairs in the room. Before the end, it was nothing but patches. The great sea chest none of us had ever opened. I'm going to let you go to sleep now. You just let me know if you need anything, okay? And if you like the book, maybe we can do some more tomorrow.